I'm going to tell you everything you need to know when deciding between the Vanguard Sentinel and Harbinger, and we're starting right now.
Aegis Combat Assist activated. Systems green.
Thank you so much to all the support from patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers that make this possible. Welcome to a Star Citizen ship battle. This is SubliminaL here, and today we'll pit two of the best heavy fighters in Star Citizen against one another to see who will come out on top. We'll cover a brief overview, compare some features, functions, and benefits, and give you my thoughts on the Sentinel and Harb. Enough with the formalities, let's get to it. Let's get a brief overview of these ships. The Aegis A3 Vangard Harbnger is the UEE's standard fighter bomber, converting the standard Warden model's escape pod into a potent bomb bay. The extended range of the Vanguard and the relatively small profile means that it can go where carrier-based planes or larger strategic bombers don't, and then strike hard and make it back to frontier bases. The Vanguard Harbinger is a powerful bomber that can operate outside of the roughest forward operating bases. The Aegis A3 Vanguard Sentinel is the electronic warfare ship that's designed to fight smart instead of taking enemies head-on. The Vanguard Sentinels often provide the necessary combat support for combined operations. A lone Sentinel assigned Wild Weasel tasks is frequently paired with Harbinger bombers and Warden escorts for large attack missions. Now that we know a little bit more about these ships, let's see how they compare to one another. For comparison, we'll cover these 7 main categories, each with its own set of subcategories. To explain how this works, a perfect score would be 1,000. I've weighted each of the 7 categories for combat. Then I weighted each subcategory. These weights are completely subjective and just my opinions. If you don't agree with my weights, please feel free to play around with the sheet yourself. There's a link in the description. First, let's talk about performance. Both the Vanguard and the Sentinel have an SCM speed of 171 meters per second. They both also share the same max speed of 1022. As far as turn rates or pitch, yaw, and roll, they're identical. Where the two of them differ is their acceleration. Legacy Fleet's SPAT tool rates the Sentinel's acceleration at 8.4 Gs and the Harbinger at 5.8 Gs. This is a huge difference that's noticeable if you spend enough time flying one and then switch to the other. In my opinion, this is the most important speed metric because it affects how quickly your ship reaches all of the other speed metrics. What is the purpose of having a ship that can reach 10,000 meters per second if it took an hour to get there? Both the Sent and the Harb have a QT fuel capacity of 2,500 and a hydrogen fuel capacity of 39,000. And both of their power and cooler scores are the same as well. We've added a new ship to the Vessels of the Verse collection. Get your free mobile wallpapers and emotes. There's a new desktop wallpaper for subclub members, and there's merch available as well. For display, make sure you use and bookmark my link in the description. It's the only way to support the channel. Alright, now time for their offense. Both the Sentinel and the Harbinger have a weapon hardpoint score of 10.8 and a turret hardpoint score of 3. Of course, we all know the Harbinger has 3 size 5 torpedoes, so it comes out swinging with a missile hardpoint score of 18.1 versus the Sentinel's 8. Now, one thing that the Sentinel has over the Harbinger is its EMP. For this reason, I gave the Sentinel 1 point and the Harb 0, for its lack of a utility item. Speaking of weapons, make sure you check out my loadout guides for the Sentinel and Harbinger here. Alright, now let's get to defense. The shield score between the two is the same, of course. Both share the same hull HP, and since they are the same variant, the cross-section is the same as well. Where they differ is their armor. The Sent has a 2% physical reduction, and the Harb has a 5% reduction. The difference here is small, but I'll take it. The Harb beats out the Sent again with its energy armor reduction of 15% versus the Sent's 10%, and neither the Sent or the Harb have any type of stealth reduction. Let's talk about practicality. For this, I have subcategories of cargo space, cabin space, component repair, pilot comfort, passenger comfort, and amenities. Since the Harb and Sent are both the same variant, they are identical, so each ship gets the full 100 points. Hey, make sure you let me know in the comments below what 2 ships you'd like to see me do in a future episode. For price, we have, of course, 2 subcategories. For Alpha UEC, the Sent comes out very slightly ahead with just over 2 million. For actual US dollar price, the Sentinel wins by a small margin again at $275 versus the Harb's $290. By the way, you shouldn't buy either of these ships with real money in my opinion. 2 million Alpha UEC is not that hard to achieve. The next category is one that I made up called Fun Factor. It consists of 2 categories, atmospheric flight and multi-crew. Of course, the multi-crew capabilities of each ship for now is the same. However, due to the lower acceleration of the Harb, I have to give it a ding for its atmospheric flight. And now for the most subjective metric, aesthetics. Again, they are the same variant, so the interior styling is the same. I enjoy both the blue undertone of the Ascent and the warm undertone of the Harb. And now, for where my love for the Sentinel ends, what is up with the blue and yellow paint scheme? The black and yellow from the original concept was much better. Alright, let's see where we stand. If we total up each category score, the Harbinger takes second place with 929, and the Sentinel wins with first place with a score of 953. I have to be honest guys, I was worried about if the ship I actually thought was better would actually come out on top using this method of review, and it did. And it truly sums up in numbers how I feel about these ships. Both the Sent and the Harb are great combat ships. They each have a couple of things the other doesn't have. However, I personally prefer the Sent over the Harb, mainly because I value an EMP and acceleration over torpedoes and extra armor. If you frequent this channel, you know by now about how I like to make fun of you damn dirty missile throwing apes. But anyway, I digress. I honestly don't use the EMP much on the Sentinel unless I'm fighting larger ships. Most enemies in PvE engagements can be taken down so quickly, it's not worth the time of spooling it up, to be honest. The acceleration is the main reason I prefer the Sent over the Harb. The major downside to flying such a large combat ship is that when you're up against smaller light fighters, they have the ability to just outstrafe you to death. Especially with the current desync and weird NPC flying style that causes pips to jitter all over the place. With all that said, the extra acceleration the Sentinel provides is that extra bit of agility I need to feel confident engaging ships like the Arrow or Gladius. That's why I prefer the Sentinel over the Harbinger. Remember, if you don't like the weights I gave, you're welcome to make a copy of the sheet in the description and change the weights to your liking. Those are my thoughts, let me hear yours down in the comments. If you haven't already, make sure you check out my loadout guides and buyer's guides for the Harbinger and Sentinel in the info card above. If you enjoy my channel, there are so many ways to support it, ranging from free options like Prime Gaming subscriptions and sending out for UBC in the verse, sub-club subscriptions, merch, to more generous forms of support. Head over to SubliminaLchannel.tv to learn how. Your support in all forms makes this channel possible. Even your viewership, liking, and subscribing goes a long way. To continue watching, here's a video I think you may like. Here's a video YouTube thinks you may like, and until next time, citizens, I'll see you in the verse.